What is good, everybody? It is Ered. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to a post-commentary double header. Now, your boy had taken a little break as for the post and we are back, but franchise games continued, so here is a little bit of that post-commentary. So I'm gonna be honest, I can't tell you what week this is. I have already forgotten, but this week we had the Giants. And my opponent is the one who's starting out on offense first. They managed to make it all the way down the field. And on third down, we're on Isaiah Simmons covering the middle field. High pass is dropped, and they end up settling for 3. Then our drive, we end up going, I believe, 3 and out. And on 2nd and 10, my opponent drops back, throws a pass as he's getting hit, and we end up getting a pick 6, getting our momentum back. Our defense is usually our strong point, so it's nice seeing the defense show out, but my opponent wasn't going away anytime soon, so as soon as they get the ball back, they just messed around and got that first down. They were moving the ball downfield, 3rd and 9 here. We're dropping back, trying to cover everything, and honestly, at that point, I thought Isaiah Simmons was going to be able to jump and cover the seam route, but he just ever so slightly missed it, and as a result, next couple plays later, out route gets behind our zone coverage, and my opponent is up 10-7. Then we start moving downfield. We're looking, and a free-form dot is thrown, moving us around midfield. On the next couple plays later, we hit up Wk11 again. We do this real weird, unnecessary spin. Honestly, when I was editing this, I was like, why am I doing that? And then on 3rd and 2, I don't know if that was a run commit or cover underneath, but Wk11 gets behind the defense. We get a touchdown, and we are up 14-10. I'm thinking we're taking this score going into the second half, but with about 1:30 left, my opponent is getting the ball, and their play here, they're running corner routes, bench, and this was an absolute dot. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know what coverage I could have put on the field to actually have stopped that play, so that was a super impressive throw. Then I believe this is the play immediately after. We get the ball back. Buda Baker getting an INT, which is very nice to see because I always complain about him not making enough plays, and I thought that was a pretty good one. So 51 seconds, I think let's get some points here. We get the ball. We throw a nice touch pass, and guess what happens? We freaking fumble. I'm tight at this point because I thought momentum was going to swing all the way around for us. And of course, Madden did just made things kind of tough on us. So anyways, 1st and 10, my opponent throws a nice throw there, gets the ball at, what is that, like the 15-ish yard line, and then my opponent is getting really close to scoring. We're in cover 2. He throws this high pass, and we get an incompletion. So with 10 seconds left, 3rd and 7, my opponent actually ends up running the exact same play, and I'm going to let you guys watch this. I'm here thinking, as long as we cover the back of the end zone, we can still have a 1-point lead, and that's what we wanted, especially getting the ball back. And watch this. Double covered, dot, in between the zones, somehow manages to get through. I later found out from my opponent he's a 70 overall receiver. And yeah, so it goes to show you height means everything in this game. So anyways, we get the ball in the second half, and we're, trying to get our offense moving. We throw a nice deep crossover over the middle of the field. And I'm, at this point, just trying to figure out how we can move the ball. But we end up, I think, taking a couple of sacks there. 3rd and 19, we get sacked again and have to punt the ball away. So it goes to show you, our offensive line is becoming one of our biggest weaknesses. As here, though, we do get a little bit of luck back. We end up getting a sack fumble, recovering the ball. J.J. Watt picks it up, and we take it across midfield. So momentum is, it's a complete pendulum of a game going back and forth and back and forth. 2nd and 10 here, we throw a slant route. I'm noticing my opponent was giving up the middle of the field, so that was why I had ran that there. And on 3rd and 5, I'm honestly just thinking about this conversion because we know we need it. We go flats. My opponent goes for pick, I think, and it let us get a little bit of more extra yards. And then I believe on the next play, all I'm thinking is trying to get D-Hop the ball. So I switched whatever route D-Hop and Hollywood were on, and I made D-Hop be the one to have the streak. He ends up coming down with the catch, and we are up. Again, momentum still on our side. Things are going well. It's 21-17, so I can't complain. I'm grateful. My opponent, though, again, not going away anytime soon. We're trying to cover everything, and look at this. Just, again, 70 overall. And he just caught it on his freaking head. It was insane. And I remember getting a message over Discord saying, you know what? At this point, I feel bad. And I was like, me too, man. Me too. But 3rd and goal. We're in cover 4. We're in dollar. I'm convinced my opponent is going to throw the ball. So I'm trying to cover everything. My opponent goes to the back left. And that ball bounced around way too many arms. And my opponent ends up taking their 3. So we maintain that 1-point lead. Next drive, I'm here trying to be conscious of the clock because we are in the 4th quarter. So we start out with a run play. We are breaking tackles, take a crazy hit stick, but still, move the ball. And then 3rd down comes along, and I knew I was going to Hollywood on this play, and then I was able to get it. We cross midfield again, and we're moving. I mean, touchdown puts this game away. Obviously, controlling the clock would also help. But at this point, I'm playing to win as opposed to just not lose. So here, I'm scrambling. Finally see triangle open. Hollywood, I probably should have stayed in bounds. That was definitely a bad play by me. But at this point, I was just taking it because we're a little bit all over the place and how we play sometimes. So, yeah, then we run the ball, take it all the way to the 18-yard line. 3rd and 1, I'm trying to go high pass, and we don't get it. So at this point, I have a decision to make. I end up pausing the game just to review the rules, and then in the moment of truth, I was like, you know what? If we're going to really play to win this game, then I got to go for it. So I call this play action power O. And I'm waiting for my opponent. And all I'm hoping is I can get that drag, either go flats or drag route. Those are my thoughts. So I see, actually, the middle of the field is who my opponent was using. And as soon as they come down, I was like, high pass, got it, tutty. And we are up by 8. So we're in a position where we really can't lose the game. The best my opponent could do is tie. So, of course, they go seam route versus our cover 3, which is a great read. And my opponent isn't going away anytime soon. They've been playing an amazing game pretty much all day. I mean, it's been some lucky things going back and forth, but my opponent has a chance here, and that's how they're playing this. So they're throwing out routes, taking it under the 2-minute warning. Then I'm pretty sure the next play they go another out route. Yes, they do. And then we're going for strips, spins, keeps it in bounds. And you would think the 70 overall player on his team would be the one to fumble, but nope. And then we're calling 2-man under, which here I remember thinking that this probably wasn't the best defense to come out in, and of course it wasn't. My opponent gets an amazing dot because whoever was covering him, I think it was my free safety, couldn't cover Tony. And then my opponent knew that they had to go for the 2-point conversion. So I actually made Collins actually carry Tony to avoid any seam routes being open. I'm trying to cover the whole middle and right side of the field. So I'm hovering, and my opponent throws it right to us. So that's, at this point, we are in a pretty good position. We just need to get 1 first down, and we pretty much put this game away. So when we get the ball back, we go with the run play first. We get a couple of yards. So at that point, I'm like, okay, why don't we do something where we can kind of confuse them a little bit? So we call the jet sweep from 5 wide. And as we're doing this, you can actually look to your right. One of his guys freezes up for a weird second, and it lets us get the first down. I'm trying to run into a tackle so we can kneel out the clock. And we managed to walk away from this game for all the craziness with the victory. Now, the second game in the doubleheader, we're going up against the Baltimore Ravens. And going up against a Lamar Jackson-led team is always a tough one. So my opponent starts out. This is their first possession. And they come with a little play action. I see that the out route is about to get thrown. And I don't know what Byron Murphy had, but he clearly ate his Wheaties before this one. Gets the hit stick fumble. And we end up on pretty much in scoring position. And then we get to a 4th and 1. And there's a theme in this game, so just watch this. Yeah, turning the ball over. This just bad. It was they had his guarding sticks. Kyler Murray jumps into the user that I was trying to make the tackle with. My opponent gets a pick 6 in a game that we basically had points. So on our next possession, we're fighting back. We'll never just give up on a game, especially not this early in the beginning of it. So we see the blitz was coming. We dump it down to go to the flat. 2nd and 10 here. I'm dropping back. And then I see Hollywood on the post pattern. I'm running across the field thinking that my 90 whatever speed was going to get me into the red zone. It doesn't. But on the next, I think, play or two later, we go back to the run play, get right in the red zone, and we tie this game up. So then my opponent, 2nd and 5, has the ball, he's obviously trying to respond, throws a really nice throw over the middle of the field. Honestly, this is like, oh yeah, and I forgot. Then we get a strip fumble, and then my opponent picks it back up. So that's already starting to get a little frustrating. I was like, all the things that like to help build momentum, turnovers and stuff like that, it's hard when you're not getting them. So then my opponent throws a certified dot after that one. So at this point, I'm like trying to blitz, and we end up getting an INT as my opponent throws cross body. So we are up. I'm trying to get the lead in this game. Like at this point, that is like the real desire. So 1st and 10, I'm going across the middle of the field, and it also looks like I'm very much trying to give the lead right back to my opponent because I throw a dumb pass. Like as soon as I throw it, I just remember going, no, why would I do that? He's double covered. It was also a great user though, because his user is actually the one who caught it. Then a couple of plays later, throws a whip route, takes it into, basically like very close to scoring range. And on 2nd and goal, this is where my user, I don't know what it was, but Isaiah Simmons for the first time ever felt slow. I thought I was about to peel back and make a great interception, but that was may have been millimeters away. My opponent made a good spot. So we're trying to respond before the 2-minute warning. We throw a great post route over the middle of the field. And you see a throw like that, and you got to be thinking to yourself, hey, look, man, we throw dots. We got momentum. We're going to score. Psych, just kidding. We are going to fumble, and my opponent is going to take that 7-point lead into the 2nd half. So in the 2nd half, at this point, our passing game with the interception and the fumble is already not going well. So I wanted to do a jet sweep. Then a couple plays later, my O-line decides to completely give up on me, and we lose 12 yards, right? So, okay, we lost 12 yards. It is what it is. Very next play, we get sacked again. And you're like, okay, 3rd and 32, we'll get some of it back, right? I'm a motion so I can block. Guess what happens? You guessed it. We get sacked 3 freaking times in a row. We lose 31 yards. My opponent takes it all the way down to the goal line, runs a play action. I'm on Buda Baker, accidentally tap triangle a little too early, and my opponent throws a dot, and they are up 2 touchdowns at this point. And at this point, I'm like, man, I'm playing really badly, and just a lot of bad breaks are piling up. So 1st and 10. The bad breaks continue because Hollywood was open versus man coverage, and I was really frustrated that we missed that. We moved the ball across midfield. We try to throw this post route, and the turnovers continue, man. I don't know what it was, but at this point, it looked like we were allergic to throwing it to our receivers. I remember my opponent messaged me. He was like, yeah, man, you throw dots. And I was like, yeah, to both teams because I was throwing hella interceptions. But Isaiah Simmons is the best user, even though he felt slow on that one play. He's still one of my GOATs on my team, and I'm glad he made that play. We end up managing to throw this really great high pass to slow Rondale Moore and put us in a position where we were only down one touchdown. So my opponent is trying to throw the ball and throws it away, and we might have caught our first break as there was an intentional grounding, right? So 3rd and 24, you can see here, I'm getting stuck on J.J. Watt, and I'm trying to get back to Isaiah Simmons. And this throw that he makes right here is exactly why I knew the seam route was coming. I was just trying to send edge pressure, and Madden would not let me click off. So, again, things just piling on how wrong they were going for us. But, again, we're not out of this game. We have all our timeouts, so we might as well keep fighting. And we make a great throw across to get to the 40 to Hollywood Brown. 1st and 10, I'm looking. Kyler Murray is finding Ertz over the middle, taking it into the red zone. And I'm like, hey, look, we get this touchdown. We'll have 3 minutes. We can do this. And, again, the theme freaking continues. Now, that one I think we should have gotten. It might have been the ability that helped him get the INT. But it is what it is. Clearly, we weren't doing a good job of taking care of the ball, and we shouldn't put ourselves in that position. But 3rd and 3, right before the 2-minute warning, my opponent actually throws a pass that takes him out of bounds. So, we're going to get the ball back before the 2-minute. So, at this point, I am trying everything to try to find a way to win. Again, as we hit another, really great post route. We threw for like 400 yards this game, which we never throw for 400. So the fact that we did that was pretty cool, as Hollywood catches a really good seam. I'm, again, just trying to score as fast as possible, because the faster we score, the sooner we'll be able to respond or use our timeouts or onside kick. Then I notice there's only 35 seconds left that we get that aggressive catch. So onside kick is where we are putting our weight in, our hopes and dreams. And we recover it, man. 35 seconds, 3 timeouts, we got a chance. And you know me, that is all I could ever ask for. I just want a chance to win, man. So we throw a nice angle route, take our first timeout. Then I think Ertz was on a whip, so we throw it. And for some reason, Kyler Murray does not lead him out of bounds. So I see the clock go down. We take another timeout. Next play, honestly, I'm trying to go deep just to make our best opportunity to have a short field, and we get sacked. Need to take a timeout. Next play, 2nd and 21. I'm looking. Nobody's open. We're getting pressure. I've dropped back way too far, and there's 6 seconds left in the game. The game on the line from the 38-yard line. No timeouts. We drop back. Everything is going to come down to this. We throw it up and come down with a catch, and we have a chance. But no, and unfortunately, the game ends on that. So GG's to the Baltimore Ravens. They played an amazing game, and we are going to take an L in this one. So hope you guys enjoyed that. Definitely do all those good things, like, comment, share, subscribe, as they are greatly appreciated. And I will see you in the next one. Deuces.